Uh, hello? Is that an SOS? Is that an SOS? Can you read me? Over? Hey, you know you can just talk to me, right? I've been listening to your breathing for the last 5 minutes, and, kind of into it. Hey, what's up, y'all? We are growing out the beard for quarantine, so you gotta let me know how we're doing here. We're probably gonna nix it soon, but as you might have noticed, a week ago I sent out a call for people to use the hashtag ZealandSOS on Twitter to recommend I save their saves. Well, I've picked the 4 or 5 that I wanted to save, and I've sent them messages. They've sent me their saves back, and I've had a bit of a look around, and I've come up with some ideas about how to fix these people's saves. And in the process, hopefully teaching you a little something about FM. At least that's the idea, but let's be honest, I'm just kind of here to talk. If you want to watch me talk live, you can check out this fabulous link to my Twitch channel, which is actually down in the description, but Reese has this cool thing that pops up anyways. Gonna be playing a ton of Valorant, dude. Oh, I really only play Football Manager there. I play other games. I own other games. You can also follow the Twitter I used to make this video down in the description, and an Instagram that's down there too, because we're all friends here. Back to the point of this video, I really was interested to see how this would feel. This is kind of like walking a mile in another man's shoes, right? I am jumping into 5 people's saves, loading into their save files, and looking around trying to find ways to make their lives better. This ranges from everything to they just need help scouting to they're close to last in the league and about to get fired. So I'm going to spend more time on some than others, and that doesn't mean offense. I just think that I can fix some problems quicker than others. I've looked at it, but honestly, making this video is going to be the first time I'm opening at least 3 of these 5 save files to even have a look around. We're going to try and do these fixes quick so you can see how my brain is working in real time. And our first one is the first submission we got from Valdemar. Well, I want you to save this save because I am doing really bad in the league, so please save it. Thank you. So Valdemar's team is Lyngby. We are second to last in the league. We have 1 point from 5 matches. Where were we supposed to finish? In this spot, in 13th. We just got promoted apparently, so this is about trying to stabilize the team so that they don't go straight back down. Let's go to our team overview, no, team detailed. How much money is being spent on a salary for Lyngby? So we are 3rd lowest in salary spend in the league. Okay, what I can tell right away is this is not going to be an easy job. You're a team that just got promoted, you're a team that is 3rd to last in salary spend in the entire league, and you've lost 4 of your first 5 matches, so the morale is definitely not going to be where it needs to be to kind of hold the resolve. Let's go look at morale. Yeah, this is not good. Club atmosphere has recently seen a slight drop. A slight drop. The team cohesion is also poor, so I wanted to look at the transfer history, and it looks like our Valdemar here has been adding a lot of different players, including one for an undisclosed fee. Ooh, sneaky. Oh boy, the finances are in a bad way too, so you got to fix this with what you got. Balance is down, no transfer budget, 200,000 over the payroll. This is about to slip off the rails. Wouldn't be surprised if you got fired past this point too much. So here's what we need to do to fix it. First, we're going to go back to dynamics. We have got to find a way to fix these team dynamics. So we're going to hold a team meeting. So we've got 3 options. We have 1, I want to ensure the heads don't drop. We have the ability in the team to change our fortunes, which we probably don't. 2, we've had a bad start. Don't let our heads drop. There's plenty of time to turn this poor play around. And 3, we're a lot better than we've shown so far this season. So let's go with the second one. And we begin. Why, that's exactly the sort of reaction I was after. Come on, really? Really? This will go up once we hit continue, but let's look at the happiness section. We've got 5 or 6 players concerned about training. Low level of training, low level of training, low level of training, low level. Okay, let's turn up the training, huh? They're complaining about physical training, so we're just going to go ahead and take that off. Run some extra stuff here. I don't know what you were doing in training in the past. It does not look like it was working, so we're going to turn it up just a little bit where we're not going to do physical training. We're just going to throw some generic training, some extra generic training on top of everything else. And hopefully that will solve that trouble spot. So we go forward a day. Let's see how the atmosphere changes. There we go. We knocked it back up to very poor. This is progress. One last thing I would want to do in this save is you want to add some team bonding training. Team bonding training is what's going to help improve that team cohesion, which is terrible right now. The team cohesion is poor. You can do one team bonding training a week. Do one every single week until you get your team cohesion up to at least in the green, because you need all the help you can get, and player positioning is going to go a long way, and decision making is going to go a long way to keeping your defense tidy. This save being fixed is all about correcting the atmosphere. You're not going to be able to bring in any new players. You need to be working on improving the morale of all the players that you do have so that you can get to a point where they are not hating themselves every time they step on the field. Notice how I didn't even look at how talented the actual squad is. Sometimes that doesn't matter. I can't change that. I'm guessing there's nobody that I can sell that's going to allow me to start investing a bunch of money, because I'm $200,000 per year over the wage limit, and I have absolutely no transfer budget to begin with. The balance is negative, so my transfer retention is low. There's really nothing I'm able to do to get more quality players in. All those free signings have really burdened the wage budget. So we have to bring the team together, create a more defensive tactic as well, stick a couple defensive mids on the field, and then you should be good to go. I mean, it's not a good situation, but you should be better than you were before. Be sure not to overuse that team meeting tactic as well. Go through and praise all the players for their conduct once a month. That's going to help keep their morale up too. Don't do it more than once a month, or you might anger them, which would have the opposite effect. Now we move on to Ross Jacobs. Now he says, my Spurs save just cannot win the league after 3 seasons, only a League Cup to show. My scouts only recommend youth players. I need now players, but Levy, the chairman, is tight. Help! In all caps. Well, that's what I'm doing. Relax, man. Ah, we're back in England. I missed it so. Okay, so we're 3 seasons in. It's June 2023, and Tottenham has finished where? He didn't actually tell me. So it was 4th, 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 3rd. Congrats on Champions League every year. That's good consistency, Russ. Finances are in fabulous shape. The dynamics are looking really good. That team cohesion is actually a little concerning in the other direction, because I feel like there might not be enough turnover in your team. Do you know what I mean? That's very high for team cohesion. I know it literally says very good, but it's really high. You probably want it to be a little lower, because that means that you're turning over. Let's look at the... Oh my goodness, orange juice. Why? Transfer history. I can see you're going for this. You signed Ronnie Lopez for $67 million. This guy's good, but this is not a value deal. You know, you spent $67 million for a guy that's considered a good Premier League player, and that's not going to help you win the league. Oh, this annoys me. You've got the wrong coach giving you opinions on stars. Never do this. Find the coach. Who's the coach? Coaching staff. Mental attributes. Your assistant coach. Much better. João Sacramento. Got it. Going back. John McDermott, the head of youth development, can provide the opinions. 1920. That's what we're looking for. Let's look at your team depth chart here. We'll go get McDermott again because he provides the best opinions. So you did fetch Erling Haaland, so congratulations for that. You have Verscharen, you have Vinicius Jr., you have Neves, you have Lo Celso. You have talent on this team. You've done a very good job of collecting talent. Your defense is just bad. I mean, this is obviously relative, but you do seem to be missing a star player. Davinson Sanchez is great, but I feel like if you win the Premier League with him at center back, he's the second best center back. I feel the same way about Joe Gomez, Chilwell, Aarons. Where's the guy on the defensive side that's going to be able to make a difference? Because I see the guys up here. Now I know why you bought Ronnie Lopez too. In this type of situation, where you say, I need people that can make a difference for me now, that is tricky to acquire, because there simply are not a lot of people on the face of the earth that can make a significant upgrade for your team when you are playing at this level. So typically the best way to spend your money is to find and buy those youth players that are being recommended. And they're probably being recommended because they're the only feasible signings at that moment. I didn't want to give up on you yet, though. I had to go give it a look, and you are not running your own scouting. So you're talking about how You're only getting youth players in your recommendations. Well, you need to take over your scouting if you want to change that. So go to your scouting area, take control of your scouting, learn it, go in here, go to assignments, and start giving people assignments. Go to scouting, assignments, create assignment, and you can look for first team player. Say, I want a first team player here, 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 here. Ongoing. And then you can pick a region. You can say, I want an Englishman. You probably don't want to limit something like this. You just want to do whole world. And you click start. And he's off. This is not Carrie Underwood. This is not Jesus take the wheel. Odds that was so good that this video gets demonetized for copyright. 100%. If you're worried about your scouting and you're not finding the right kinds of players to take that final step as a team, because you've got a good-looking team in a great financial situation, you're going to continue to do very well and continue to attempt to succeed. You need to take the reins of that scouting and whip them boys in shape. All right, next save. Now we have Rob Crook, who's actually doing very well. I'm Cheltenham, 3rd season, back-to-back promotions. I'm 7th just in the January window, and I have a small squad, smallest stadium, and the smallest wages in the league. So this is a financial play. This is a background play. Everything else is going well. So let's dive in. All right, we're here. And Mr. Crook did not lie to us. Team is absolutely cooking in the championship after back-to-back promotions. He's in 2022. He's absolutely caught fire. He's got the bit of fortune from the FM gods, and he's feeling himself. But the problem is, his transfer budget is $10,000. His wage budget is $7 million per year, which is really, I'm surprised that's the lowest. It's very low for the championship, but I'm surprised that that's the lowest. Let's see. It is, in fact, the lowest. Okay. Not the lowest by a ton. I mean, you've got company. Obviously, the teams, though, you're competing with have about 4 times the wage budget that you do, though. You already knew that, of course. Convincingly the lowest attendance. Yep. 13 sellouts. That is impressive. Average attendance is a sellout, but it's a sellout. Average lowest attendance. Highest number of sellouts. What a world. Now let's look at the squad, and you're playing the loan game, I see. This is going to get dangerous. At some point, you're not going to be able to loan these guys in anymore, but it's a great way to get around the fact that you don't have a lot of money. The dynamics look good as well. What transfer moves have you made? A lot. You know, just a lot of different acquisitions of free transfers, and I guess just trying to build depth as you came into the championship. But even with those acquisitions, you do have an exceptionally small squad, basically like 2 people for every position, and that's it. Even U23s, you've got some room down in the U23s. Shoot, bring these guys up. What are they doing down here? Got a small squad. This is a championship. This guy's fine. He's a little slow, but he's freaking professional. You've got guys here. Bring them up. Don't keep signing free guys that are older to fill these spots. These guys all have the potential. With a year or 2 in the first team, they're going to be capable. I mean, shoot, I know you just signed Finlayson. You got this guy for free from somewhere. How are you this unagile on a separate note? So that fixes your depth problem, but another serious problem is that you have no money and you have no quick, easy way to acquire a significant amount of money outside of winning. As for the stadium, you do not want to build a new one until you get into the Premier League. You want to build a new stadium once you get those massive Premier League payments, and then boom, you've got that awesome new stadium. The only reason you want to do that is because you can only build a new stadium every 20 years. It used to be every 25, so once you build a new stadium, you're stuck with it essentially for the rest of the save. So don't jump the gun. Stay patient. It looks like you might have a shot to get out of the championship even this year, and if you can do that and get into the Prem, you get a ton of money, you can build a fabulous new stadium, and it'll go up soon. Another issue I saw is your transfer revenue retention is at 35%. So even if you sell that Serbian striker who is at the top of the line for you, and maybe you sell him for 4 or 5 million, you get a good deal, you're only going to get about 2 million of that 5 million that you'll have the opportunity to spend, which is not an amount of money that is able to change your life at the championship. That's an amount of money that can change your life in League One. The good side of this is you have a ton of really high potential young players, which means if you bring those guys through, you're going to be able to compete at a high level in the championship for years to come, and hopefully in this year or next year get yourself into the Premier League. So the stadium, you want to wait to build it until you get into the Prem and you get that massive injection of money, and they'll want to build you a huge stadium. The small squad, you want to promote your youth. In the financial situation, you're really only going to make that money by promoting the youth. Maybe you don't use all of them, but if you can put them in the spotlight, you've got 7 or 8 players that could sell for more than $2 million if they start to play a good bit, especially in England where people just pay them. They'll pay $1 million for a newel post if somebody says it has 4-star potential at a championship level. They will. I don't even know what a newel post is. Set your scouts to hot prospects also. Set them to hot prospects, set 1 scout looking for people that are coming available on a free at the end of the season, and then you're good. All right, last one. This is a fun one. This is from Kalele or something. We'll learn how to pronounce it. Major fan of the channel. This is the team I hope to achieve in the future, and that's it. And I just thought this was awesome. It's Kalele, by the way. I think I'm right. Or Zularox. Multiple names. So here's the dream team that he wants to be able to assemble. And he already has basically everybody on this list except for Upamecano and who else? Fernandez down here on the bench. So he's already putting the team together. And in terms of developing players, I'm going to make a whole video about that later. I'm not going to try and explain it quickly. But what I do want to use this to do is to basically explain how I would go about signing Upamecano. That seems to be the question. So he's still playing for Leipzig. He is just tap dancing all over the place with a value of 64 to 125 million according to the scouts. Now you have a huge advantage here. This is the first thing you need to look for. If you are Barcelona, you have the pulling power to unsettle just about anyone, especially people that are ambitious. And Upamecano is ambitious. Declare interest in him. It'll be that easy. Declare interest. If you really want him to be your top target, declare interest as top target. You go to the media, say, hey, we're interested in making this signing. His ambition means that he is going to want to play for one of the biggest clubs in the world, which Leipzig is not. Your club has the pulling power. You will be able to force him out of his contract. It's long, but you'll be able to force that asking price down and force him onto the transfer list simply by unsettling him. If you want to go the extra mile, you can actually attend one of his games in person in order to scout him further. Or you just send one of your scouts, you go to assign scout, pick whoever you want, send them for a match or two. That will also let them know that you are interested in making a deal. But honestly, you could probably afford the price right now. You should be able to, with future clauses and fees, get a negotiation under 77 million at the start for Upamecano. But always look for that personality and ambitious. And even if they don't have it, they have a different personality, it doesn't mean they're not ambitious. Try declaring interest first if the asking price is high. And this is obviously a very high asking price for a center back. But you'll be able to get him, though. I have faith. I actually really enjoyed doing this, throwing myself into a bunch of different situations and spending a few minutes wallowing around in it looking for a way out. Some of these situations were obviously harder than others, and the one at the end was basically an excuse to provide some tips. And it's interesting to lay it out like that, and a clever way to do it, to lay out, this is what I want my 11 to be. I'm going to make this happen in the future. And they're making it happen. Thank you guys. I had way more submissions than I anticipated, so I appreciate you for that. I look forward to doing something like this again in the future because, again, it was loads of fun. I'll see you on Twitch, Twitter, on Instagram. Have a great rest of your day. Zealand, back to doing nothing in quarantine. Let's go. If you have any questions, comments, I'll be there. Waving, parting. Look at this. Makes the save. Not only that, he parries it out brilliantly. I mean, he could not have played this any better.